Good morning, my name is Emily. If you're new to my channel, hi! We don't know each other yet, but looking forward to getting to know you. And if you're returning, hi, good morning, welcome back. Good to see you. How are you? That's enough cringe for now. Okay, so this week I wanted to track my calories and just trying to figure out how much I generally eat in a day because I have not tracked my calories consistently throughout an entire week. I can't think of a single time. Maybe once in like 2018. That's what I did this week. And it was kind of hard to capture. I mean, I can only do so much with showing you a screenshot, right? So I thought I would do a little bit of like a sit down opener and kind of talk about what I found in my little experiment of me pretending to be a scientist for 7 days and all that jazz. So let's get right into this. Oh my goodness, you guys, I totally forgot about the calorie portion, what my findings were, so on and so forth. I guess I was just so excited to tell you a little bit more about me that I just lost the plot. Right now it's Sunday, so I have been logging basically 6 days worth of information. For Monday, I ate a total of 1,176, which is low. So at this point, I was like really surprised. I was like, that's weird. I thought I was eating somewhere around like 2,500 or 3,000 calories a day, So like I was really surprised by that. But it's day one. So I do notice that when I'm highly focused on something, I don't eat as much. That happens from time to time for me. So for Tuesday, this one is a little bit more aligned for what I was expecting. It's about 2,000, a little over 2,000 calories. And then Wednesday, I hit it almost perfectly. And I was like really impressed with myself. So I did really well this time. So that was good. And then we got back to Thursday. Now Thursday, I'm hitting right around that 2,000. Everything's fine, good, great. Still over what my goal was. And I wasn't really exercising either. So like that part's not ideal, but I was really trying to focus on my calories. And then Friday happened. This is the one that showed me, okay, yeah, I was eating about 25 to 300 calories like I had assumed. I got 2 DoorDash meals. But yeah, because I got Chipotle for dinner and then I got El Pollo Loco for lunch because my mom bought it. How could I say no? Basically free. This is where I kind of realized that, this was definitely more of like that normal day of eating what I was doing before. And then yesterday, I was back down to 1,800 calories. So it was helpful to know that it wasn't too terrible to stick right around there. Now, if I go a little bit over or if I'm a little bit under, I'm not going to be that upset. You know what I mean? Because that's definitely a far cry from 2,500. That was my findings about the calories. Thought I would slip this in here. This probably should have been in my very first video, but I didn't know where I wanted to go. I just sat down and just talked at the camera. You know what I mean? So I'm going to answer a couple of common questions that I feel like if I was watching somebody starting their weight loss journey, I would want them answered, Oh, also, while I'm talking with you, I want to give you a little visual interest. So while I'm chatting with you, I'm going to lay over some of the cleaning that I did this week. So the first one that I thought I would start on is my background. Has eating always been an issue for me? Like basically what's going on? So I'm originally from California, and then when I was in middle school, I moved to Iowa, and that's where I consider my hometown. Lived there, started college there, and once I went to college, let me tell you, freshman 15, girl, try freshman 30. I was in those dining halls, treating it like a smorgasbord, like it was an all-time buffet, and I was constantly in there. There was just a lot of eating and a lot of partying, of course, and I was no longer active. And in high school, I was super active. I was a cheerleader, I was in tennis, I was really involved with theater, things like that. But yeah, so I was always very thin in high school, but caveat, I was super active, but I wasn't really eating that much. And I would pretty much only eat like once a day, and that was during school. Like school lunch was all I ate. And then I would go to my school activities. By the time I came home, which was about like 6 or 7, usually I'd be so tired that I would just go right to sleep, right? So that was high school. And then college. Ooh, girl. It just felt so crazy to just have all this food, and I just felt like I needed to eat it all the time. I just didn't know how to control myself. And then not only that is when I was introduced to the party vibe. So like most college kids, alcohol was like this whole new world. All of my roommates, for some reason, were sorority girlies. So I was constantly at frat parties or at sorority parties, got super close with Greek life. And then it became too much. But at that time, I actually wanting to be a hygienist. And then I shadowed somebody, realized, oh my God, what do I do? I hate it. I don't know what to do. This is like something that I've wanted my entire life since I got that little Play-Doh teeth set at Christmas back when I was like 7 or something. And I hate it. What do I do now? Spiraling because of that, unhappy across the board. And I basically kind of had a little bit of a mental breakdown, called my mom and said, what do I do? This is what's happening. I just don't know what to do with myself. But yeah, so she was living in California at this time when I called her and I said, what do I do? I'm freaking out. Nothing's going great. I'm like spiraling. I don't know. And she said, come back to California. You can live with me and we'll figure it out. I felt so guilty. I worked so hard getting my scholarships and things like that to actually get into college. I was one of the first ones in my family to graduate, period, like graduate high school. And so there was that added pressure of I was going to be the first child to go to college. And I did that. I just didn't graduate. And part of me still holds a lot of guilt and embarrassment that I had to drop out, but it just like wasn't for me. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And wasting all that money just didn't seem like a logical step. I wasn't taking my studies seriously. And all I cared about was my social life. Don't get me wrong, the memories are. But are they worth 20 grand? No. That's like a down payment for a house. Well, probably not in this economy anymore. So yeah, I did that. I did just that. The winter vacation ended. It was the end of the semester and I withdrew from college. I went to California. That was in 2015, I want to say. 2015. Wow, that's a long time. But yeah, so I've been here ever since. I love California. And then I started working in corporate, and turns out I'm really good at that, and I really do enjoy it. It may not be dentistry, but apparently I hated it. Oh, I can't believe that. After years and years, I think ever since I was like 7 or 8, I was like, I am going to work in the dental field. And then life came and said, girl, no, you're not. Joke's on you. I think you'd fit more in an office life. But throughout that entire time, I was still eating. So I was eating for comfort. I was eating because I was sad. I was eating because I could. I was just constantly eating. And by then I weighed, so like in high school, I was about 115. Then by the time I moved back from Iowa to California, I was about 135. So then once I got to California, girl, out here, so much more convenient. You can get anything you want, anytime you want, because there, everything pretty much closes at 5. Here, girl, 24 hours, Taco Bell, anytime. Come on in. Dangerous. Dangerous. And so here we are now, and it's just been the same. So that's kind of my history with my weight. And now I'm 210, which is a personal best. Just kidding. No, that's terrible. I shouldn't think about it that way. But honestly, yeah, that's the heaviest I've ever been. So in case you haven't heard, if you didn't watch my very first video, the thing that really like pushed me to change, I was really tired of like kind of hating my body, hating the way I looked, hating the way I felt more than anything. Like just waking up and like just lifting myself out of bed and all my back would crack, because it was just like, just in pain, feeling a lot of heaviness on my body, like I'm just tired, the list goes on and on. I just hate the way I feel more than anything. The straw that broke the camel's back was my friend Laura got us tickets to go see Taylor Swift in Scotland. I'm still like shook about it. So once I get in that place where I'm very like, oh, I hate my body, I'm sure a lot of people know what I mean. And if you haven't, oh, you're so lucky. You are so lucky. But it's like once you get in that point where you're kind of like, I just hate my body. I hate everything about it. I resent it. It's holding me back, things like that. Like it's really difficult to pull yourself out, and then your whole trip will be ruined. Everything would be ruined. And I know how I am, and I know myself very well. And I know for a fact that if I go on the trip with how I am now, mentally and physically, the trip would be ruined. If I ruin that for myself, and if I ruin that for my friend Laura, I don't think I could ever, forgive myself or come back from that. You know what I mean? And it's like a year away. It's going to take a lot of effort, but I don't feel like it's impossible. I just feel like I needed the right motivation. With that in mind, what are my goals? Very simple. I want to lose about 60 pounds, and I want to get better at social anxiety. I think I have a touch of social anxiety. I'm not diagnosed or anything. This is all things I learned on TikTok. No, I'm just kidding. But I have a lot of anxieties around being around people. I don't like people to look at me. I don't I just don't want to be out. It almost feels like I just don't want anybody to acknowledge that I exist. You know what I mean? And the other day, an old friend from high school was like, "Oh my gosh, I miss our time so much. We bond over Kesha." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I miss you so much. Should we plan a trip together and meet up?" And although I was like, "Oh my gosh, I miss you too. I would love to." My instant thought was, "Oh my god, she's going to see me fat." Girl, she's not looking at your Instagram? No secret. But it's just that was my instant response. And it shouldn't be like that. I'll be turning 30 soon. I should be enjoying my youth while I can. Why am I already acting like I'm 80 years old and don't want to leave the house? But those two are kind of some of the main goals that I would like to focus on. One other one for sure is my finances. Believe you me, I can't save a dime to save my life. I spent money I didn't have on things I didn't need. And that's heartbreaking. It'll be okay. It's going to take hard work, dedication, and I'm going to be uncomfortable. And I need to be okay with that, and I need to accept that. That's kind of what I wanted to come on here and say. I felt like this probably should have been extrapolated on a little bit in the first video, but I just didn't do it because, like I said, it was new and I was nervous and I was just excited about Taylor Swift. I feel like this is kind of some information that would be helpful for you to know about me, kind of get to know me a little bit, I'm really enjoying it so far. But anyway, I think that's everything I wanted to say. I hope you enjoyed sitting with me for this little chit chat, and I hope you'll follow along with me and subscribe down below. If you guys have any suggestions of people that I should check into and maybe do their stuff for a week and see who I like, I would really appreciate that. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Bye.
And now the staff and management thank you, the televiewing audience, for the privilege of serving you today with television entertainment and information. Until then, it's good night and good morning.